Hey, you're listening to the Dealer Playbook podcast, episode 25, and our guest today is JD Rucker, founder of Dealer Authority. Here we go.
You're dialed in to the Dealer Playbook podcast, where it's all about winning auto dealer strategies that deliver proven results. And now your hosts, Robert Weissman and Michael Cirillo.
All right, here we are, episode 25 of the Dealer Playbook podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate you being here. My name's Michael Cirillo. I'm joined with my co-host, Robert Weissman. How are you?
I am excellent, Michael.
Hey, today, for our silver episode, Mr. JD Rucker, the founder of Dealer Authority. We say this often, but unless you've been living under a rock, you should know or have heard of JD Rucker. He's an absolute genius when it comes to social media. We're looking forward to having him on the show. And as you're going to hear, the conversation just kind of explodes into what you can do to absolutely sell cars in social media. And that's what the Dealer Playbook's about, giving you those winning strategies that deliver results. So let's jump into our guest today, Mr. JD Rucker.
Here we go.
All right, here we are, episode 25 of the Dealer Playbook podcast. We are joined today by Robert and my friend, the founder of Dealer Authority, Mr. JD Rucker. JD, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. This is 25.
This is
the
episode
silver
25.
anniversary.
This is a silver anniversary.
Wow.
You've shown up just in time. Some might say finally you've shown up. But you were here just in time for the silver anniversary of the show.
I think, I know of one person that says finally they should. JD.
Yeah, he's here finally. And we've got a cool topic that we want to talk to you about. Just prior to the show, we were talking, and you brought something up that I thought was pretty interesting about how dealerships should be running their social media. You said that if you owned a dealership today or were running a dealership today, that you would only publish one or two organic public posts to your dealership's Facebook page per week, but that you would actually do dark posts or unpublished posts 30 at a time. What's your reasoning behind that? And can you maybe get into a little bit what you mean by unpublished posts so that
Sure.
dealerships can really get some good information out of this and what they should be doing for their especially their Facebook strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and I don't want to scare people. Oh, if I'm posting every day that I'm posting too much, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to downplay that. And obviously we have services where we post every single day, 365 days a year. There's a value to it, but knowing what I know, and I always try to put things into perspective as if I were the dealership. I spent a decade on the retail side before coming over to the vendor side. I still remember at least what it was like back then. And I think, if I owned a dealership today, how would I operate? The reason that I would go with fewer posts is because, you mentioned organic posts. Organic is dead. There is no organic. Okay, you can get a little bit of organic traffic. There's still blog posts saying how to get more organic Facebook visibility. Just pretend like it doesn't exist. We're talking about single or double digits. If you're a huge dealership, you might be able to get triple digits. But with advertising, you can get quite a bit more. The reason that I would post less is because we feel this need as dealers, as businesses in general, to always be constantly on Facebook and make sure that we're getting the branding out there. If you're running ads properly to your pages, I'm talking about engagement style ads. If you're running these ads to your posts, then posting one or two incredible, awesome, well thought out, perfectly created and vetted out content, one or two posts per week, maybe three, then put the ads behind it. Your best content is getting out there. What I see happen is that dealers feel like they need to post, and they'll actually cover up some great content with some mediocre content, because nobody's going to come up with 7, 10, 15 amazing posts every week. Put your best foot forward once, twice, 3 times a week, and let the ads continue to run. So if you post that on Thursday, let's say, and you've got something really amazing. Let's say you've got a nice collage of happy customers for the month that you've collected. You create an album of 15 people that are, some of them are jumping up and down, some of them are in the showroom. They're all smiling. They're all happy. You take this one post and you run your ads to it. You don't need to cover it up. Let that post play out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday. Okay, get it maximum exposure. When you let it run every single day, there is a disadvantage. Now, keep in mind, there is an advantage to it. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that, but that's what I would do. If I owned a dealership, I would handle it like that. As far as dark posts, unpublished posts, it goes by a lot of names. This is the juice. This is what this is our focus. This is what we're really positioning as the best way for dealers to truly utilize social media in general and Facebook in particular. With unpublished posts, these are posts that do appear in people's timelines. They appear on the mobile apps. They appear in the sidebars. These are ads. Okay, they do not appear on your page. So you would take a post and set it as unpublished in the back end, and it'll be visible to the people that you target, and just those people, and the friends of those people. I mean, there's still a virality to it, but you're really focusing on, what, we want to get this customer appreciation 1999 oil change out to our customer database, a custom audience that we create based upon our email database, and we want this to target just the people in our database that that live within 25 miles of the dealership, or maybe even 10 miles of the dealership. Because since it's an oil change, we only want to target those people. You don't want to put that ad in front of people who aren't interested in it. Okay, that's why you want to keep that unpublished, and that's why you want to keep it hyper targeted. Now, you mentioned running 30 ads in a week, or however it was worded. I would be running at least 30 ads concurrently. They would be running nonstop. Okay, they would be getting tested and see what is the conversion rate, how many people are actually clicking through to the website, to the landing page, wherever I'm trying to send them. How many people are accepting me off, or how many people are signing up for the event? Whatever it is that we're focused on with that individual ad, we want to test it. And that's why I'm running 30 at a time. Because if you don't, it's not that you can't be successful, but let's face it, it's kind of like saying, well, you can run a PPC campaign and you're going to target just Ford. You're going to put in one keyword, and anybody that types in Ford, yeah, that'll cover most everybody. But you really want to be more targeted. You want to take advantage of the fact that you can target people that are looking for a Ford F-150, and you want to send them to a landing page that's specifically about Ford F-150. That's why we run multiple ads at any given point for all of our dealer clients.
And are some of those variations of the same ad?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So is it the copy that you're testing, or is it the targeting, or is it a little bit of both? Is it a little bit of both?
Yes and yes. Great, perfect question. So you can run up to 6 variations, and by variations we're talking about. Let's pull an example. So I'm trying to think of one that I just did today. Oh, okay. So this part. So we took again, this is a customer database, but this is a database of just people who had been in service. They were former service customers, but who had not been back to service in the last 365 days. In other words, these are past customers that haven't been back to the dealership. We've lost them. Okay, they're gone. They're probably not coming back. If they haven't been back in the last year to get something, their oil change, their brake job, their 30,000 mile checkup, whatever, then somewhere along the lines we lost them, and we want to try to get them back. So we run 6 variations. We keep the wording the same. Okay, the wording on this particular ad was something to the effect of JD Rucker Nissan customer appreciation service special, and then it was service special for you. The title of it was Facebook customers only, and but we ran 6 different images within there. Some of them were looked like technicians at the dealership. One was actually a picture of the dealership itself. One was a what was it? It was appreciation. It was like the word appreciation. Some clip art that we put together. We ran 6 different variations of it, and we'll test these. This is important because I've run. It's probably into the tens of thousands by now, as far as the number of campaigns that I've run. There's no, people say, what's the best practice? What's the way to do it? There is none. Okay, and I hate to say that. It's very discouraging because I've been been searching for that best practice. They're coming to get you, Robert.
That's not me, man.
That's not me.
They found out how many cars
you're spilling the goods,
Facebook.
dude. It's because you're spilling the goods. They're coming to shut you up.
I think Zuckerberg is coming after me. No, we will test these campaigns because there is no magic bullet. You have to see what's working. Thankfully, Facebook does make it very easy for us to track. So we can tell, okay, so out of these 6 variations, we're trying to drive people to click through to the website. And this variation is costing us $1.82 per click. And this variation is costing us 84 cents a click. And this variation is costing us 63 cents per click. And we can tell this within a day or two. It doesn't take you don't need tons and tons of data to collect it, because this is getting put out in front of hundreds or thousands of people, depending upon who you're targeting in that particular moment. So we're able to see, wow, this one, hey, we thought it was going to work great. It worked great for a different dealer in a different area. This time it bombed. So let's just eliminate it. So now we're down to 5. Okay, these 2 are underperforming. Now we're down to 4. Now we're down to 3. So it gets to the point where, okay, great. So we've been running this ad for 4 or 5 days. We've got the 3 best variations. We're putting our best foot forward. And now let's see if it starts to rise again, because there is a certain level of fatigue that happens. So we have to monitor the ad to see when those numbers start creeping up, because you're going to be putting this message in front of people multiple times. And that's a good thing. You do want to, you want people to see the ads over and over again. They're not going to just automatically act the first time they see it. We've all done it. We've all seen the ad 5, 6, 10, 15 times before. You know what? I really do need to check that out. And so you will, and they do. They will check it out. Once we start seeing those numbers creep up, it's time to start from scratch. Okay, let's talk about the next campaign. You run this multiple times throughout a given, I don't want to say a month or a time period, because the beauty of social media is there's no time period. You run it and you analyze it every single day, at least. And I don't want to scare people. If you're checking it every other day, let's say you're doing it 4 times a week, then you're good. It doesn't have to be absolutely micromanaged. You'll get the best results, but the results will be fine if you're checking it 4 or 5 times a week, making sure that your ads are still doing awesome.
Now, when you say you upload, just for the person listening that hasn't had any experience using the Facebook ads, when you're bringing and uploading, are you uploading the email addresses from their CRM when you're saying you're targeting customers that have been service customers of the past? They haven't been in the dealership in about a year. Are you just filtering that in the CRM and then uploading that list of emails or names to Facebook, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So CRM, DMS, wherever we can get the data. Sometimes it can be a conquest list that the dealership purchases. Sometimes there's literally thousands of ways that you can target on Facebook. You can target people based upon their income. You could target them based upon their buying intent. So, obviously one of our core, we try to show that people are spending $3, $4, $5 a click, sometimes more through pay-per-click, where we can target buyers, local shoppers, and for under $2 a click, we can drive them to your website, to your inventory, to a landing page, to specials pages. And this is all through Facebook. And this is a beautiful thing. And targeting based upon them being hand raisers. It pulls DLX data, Polk data, and you can target those people and say, hey, we want just the people that have raised their hand and intend to buy a new Nissan in the near future, or a Nissan Altima. You get it very targeted or very specific. You can target just sedans. Hey, we want people that are targeting sedans. We can go after used cars. You can go after anything like that. You can also target people based upon their income levels. You can target them based upon languages,
where they work.
Oh yeah,
like
where they work, where they frequent. One of our most popular ones that we ran, I guess it wasn't recent. It was last month. We're probably going to run it again this month for one of our clients. We targeted people within 25 miles of the dealership that interacted with Pep Boys. He's got a Pep Boys across the street, and he wanted to get in front of those people because he sees his bays are empty and Pep Boys is full, and he's better than Pep Boys. And so he's targeting people that are specifically liking Pep Boys, that are locals, and it was strangely effective. I mean, it was one of those ones where I had to convince myself that it would work. And then when I saw the results, I go, wow, that's pretty darn awesome. Put that in our playbook.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of a good tool for building an affinity with your community as well, because you can start to identify maybe some of the things that they're interested in and kind of start addressing or targeting those people with messages that are maybe a little bit more relevant or within a geographic area, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can target. We've got a client who they're not even targeting around themselves. They're only targeting around their two competitors. So they actually geo-target those people in particular, and they're targeting them not just for sales but service. Yeah. You don't just have to go based upon intent. You can actually go after owners. You can say it'll pull the data, and you say you just want to target Honda people that own a Honda. You want to put a service special in front of them, or a early lease return special. You can target them based upon their purchasing type. Target just people that have leased their car, or just people that have purchased their car.
Fixed ops has to be one of the best opportunities for Facebook ads.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, so it all depends upon, so yes and no. It always was in the past, and it hasn't dropped at all. But, recently, I would say in the last 3 or 4 months, we have really, really honed in on and discovered that even though fixed ops is a low-hanging fruit through social media, that sales can't happen. They put the tracking pixel on a website, and you would be utterly amazed. I'm not going to share exact numbers because I don't have them accumulated, but looking at some of these dealers that are driving 1,000, 1,500 visitors to their website, to their inventory through Facebook every month, tracking it and seeing the lead conversion rate on them. It's sick. I would never have guessed that you could sell cars pretty much, on a weekly or daily or whatever, specifically through Facebook. And these are uniques. These aren't people that are coming in through Facebook and then they come back later. We're not trying to just use attribution. Oh, hey, that person, even though they filled out a lead through they came in through whatever search engines later, we're not trying to attribute them because, they came through Facebook 2 weeks ago. This is tracking them from, they were on Facebook, they clicked through to the dealer's inventory because we targeted them specifically with an exact proper ad, and they filled out a lead form. And of course, cross-reference, and by the way, they also bought a car, And when you compare it to what people are spending on everything else, it's sick. It's incredibly bleh.
Now, how important though is it? Because when I talk to some people that are dabbling and playing around with it, that and getting familiar with using the Facebook ads, like right or wrong, like I always say, like that conversion pixel is a must that you put that on. I mean, how important do you think that is?
It's extremely important because you cannot track
your metrics.
Yeah, you're running blind without it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's not completely blind. You can at least see the data. You can see, okay, great. So we got 1,500 clicks, but I want to take it all the way through. I want to know for sure that we're getting actual leads out of it because if we're not, you could send 1,500 visitors. If you're not getting any leads, then you can't really attribute any sales to it.
And I mean, I was going to say, that's the powerful thing about doing business online and advertising your business online is that tracking is built into pretty much everything versus, like you mentioned, why wouldn't dealers want to do it this way, especially considering how much they're spending? When you look at other advertising mediums like the radio or television or newspapers, billboards, it's not this simple. Yeah, it's not as trackable. And so I love what we're talking about here. I was going to ask you before we kind of went down this wormhole here, is there, since we're talking about targeting and we're talking about how to kind of segment different market groups and all that kind of stuff, is there an optimal size of customer list or email list that you want to be working from?
Yeah, absolutely. So, is there optimal? Yes. Is there limitation? No.
Okay.
You can. I have one list working, and I'm not joking. This is a list of 40. It has 40 people. Okay, just 40 people. They're targeting. They're throwing $2 a day at it. Sometimes they spend the full $2. Sometimes they don't. Mm-hmm. But these are very high. This is for fleet sales, and they're going specifically after after fleet customers who have either bought from them in the past through fleet or that they'd like to target. And we put in the list. The list was about 250. We only got 40 matches on, and mostly because these are work addresses, and a lot of people just use their personal address for it. But this 40, it's a tiny hyper targeted list, but all it takes is one of those. And for $2 a day, who wouldn't?
Yeah, exactly.
Who wouldn't spend $60 a month to take a chance at selling 150 trucks in one pop? And optimal. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me answer real quick. So optimal size, we want to keep it in the high thousands or low 10,000. Like you somewhere, I guess. A prime targeting group would be somewhere between 5 and say 35,000. But that's it's almost like asking how long is a piece of string. It all depends on what the goal is. If your goal is to target, for example, people that own a Chevy, and you want to target them with service specials, it doesn't matter. If you go to 150,000, there's no limit there.
Yeah.
With other things, you do want to keep it more hyper targeted.
Well, and the more what I like about being the more targeted you get, the easier it is to create copy that's kind of resonate, and feel like it's going to speak directly to them because you know exactly who you're talking to.
Yeah, exactly.
What I wanted to ask you when we talk about the budget, so you do, and which we're aware that you want to do the daily budget, right? Not a set amount, correct? To run it, you want to have a daily ad spend instead of, how you can select on there like X amount of dollars or a daily budget, correct?
It all depends upon the campaign, because if, for example, we had an emergency pop-up where a dealership, their agency had a big sale, it was an offsite sale at a credit union, and their agency was off by a week. So they had over 50 cars sitting in the parking lot at a credit union on Saturday. They were already planning on it, and the ads weren't going to run until the following Wednesday. So it was literally, holy cow, what do we do? So they set a budget. It's like, look, here's X amount of dollars. It wasn't much. Here's X amount of dollars. Do whatever you can to drive traffic, because we've got this has to be successful. I guess, but it's not a secret. It's like $40. So we said, okay, great. Let's throw $40 at it. And then after it started looking good, I think they threw another $20 at it or whatever. It was like a $60 campaign. They sold 19 cars. That was their most successful one.
Get out. Really?
I'm not kidding. No,
wow.
This is an offsite used car event at the credit union in Albany. They sold 19 cars. Though that day, and it was they do it every year. It was their most successful one. It was the first one where they didn't have television and radio going to it. Needless to say, they instantaneously had their eyes open, and they just hired a social media guru in house to start working with us on other things that they're expanding. They've got a social media BDC going. They saw the magic, they were able to test it by mistake. They would never had they run everything going to it. Had they run everything,
social media BDC.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into details because this is their idea. The guy that they hired seems to be very brilliant, and I think it's going to be amazing what they're doing. I can't share because
I understand. How important is it for your likes? Do your likes your page likes mean anything anymore?
Yeah, they do. They're great for inflating your ego. They're really important to to show somebody who doesn't know any better. Other than that, they have absolutely zero influence whatsoever.
So basically, if you're listening in and you're doing that little promote your page where Facebook scoops up some of your money, to get you likes, you're wasting your money.
The like campaigns or whatever.
The like campaign.
We will run like campaigns for people, and no more than $1 or $2 per day. So if they want to, and I don't want to make people insult people. It is more than ego. There is a certain level of because as social media insiders and gurus and pirates and ninjas or whatever we all are. It's easy for us to snicker, but at the end of the day, there really is, I shouldn't call it ego. It really is a pride issue.
Yeah.
If your competitor has 2,500 likes and you're sitting there with 400, I can understand why you want to grow. And so I don't want to downplay it. So the question was about effectiveness of your social media. That portion of it, likes have no impact. That doesn't mean that there's no benefit at all to likes. But if I wouldn't dedicate any amount of time and very, very, very little budget to it.
Unless you don't have your first 50 that you need to run ads.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are certain, it is beneficial. I posted on Facebook the other day, we were at like 996 likes, and I said, we are so close to 1,000 likes, and when we get to it, we're not going to do anything because it's meaningless or something to that effect. And I got called. So I was like, look, if they're meaningless, why are we running ads? I'm like, look at your ads. Okay, you've got an $800 a month budget, and we're spending 60 of it a month on likes. It's not that there's zero benefit. There's just no benefit. Like gaining likes is not the way to get exposure. The way to get exposure is to utilize the tools that Facebook gives us, put the money into it, do the targeting, put out the right messages, and start driving traffic to your website. That's the whole goal, is to get people to your website and get people to your dealership. Social media used for anything else other than those things, there is a minimal amount of benefit. Now, with that said, if you truly use Facebook, in other words, if I'll make that blanket statement for 99% of dealers, there are 1% of dealers, maybe 2. Well, we'll stretch. We'll say 2% of dealers out there that can get benefit if they are investing fully into social media. In other words, if they're utilizing social media as public outreach, if they're utilizing their page to promote charities, if they're utilizing their page to promote the team, for the actual internal team, if they're building company culture through it, there's things that can be gained, through social media without utilizing, it's all about selling cars. There are benefits. I don't want to downplay the communication aspect of it. If somebody's going to leave a bad review, I'd rather they leave it on Facebook than on Yelp or Google Plus. With Facebook, we have much more control over it. We have much less visibility if it's a bad one, and we can bump up the visibility if it's a good one. We can reply to it. There's a lot of reasons to utilize social media for more than just selling cars. But that's only if you're in that 1 or 2% that is dedicated. And by dedicated, I mean you have that person that they're not just doing social media. They're also making videos. They're putting content on your website. They're blogging. They're engaging the community. They're taking your cars and taking them to Little League games and giving out cotton candy and getting pictures with, all of that stuff that you can do with social media. It's an all in or don't worry about it kind of ordeal. If you're gonna do it a little bit, then you might as well just do, like I said, and do 1 or 2 posts a week. If you're going to commit and turn it into something real, then commit all the way. Hire yourself a full-time person, but don't let that take away from the advertising aspect of it, because the ads are where you're selling cars, getting more service business.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, because I told you we're not going to keep you all day, JD. But this is where I really want to dive in. Where somebody right now, dealership calls you up, and that or somebody, you're going to help somebody out that they have no experience in running Facebook ads, working with them at all. How do they get started? What's the strategy to going into it? Like just a quick step-by-step for them.
Sure. Perfect. So, first and foremost, read about it. We put out a step-by-step guide. I'll send a copy of it so that we can put it on dealerplaybook.com or whatever link to it. It's in the show notes. It's a step-by-step guide of how to get started. Getting started this isn't nothing that we do. And this is where my partner will probably get mad at me for saying this. We don't do anything that a dealer can't do themselves. Nobody does. Any dealer, and that's across the board. Any dealer, if they really wanted to, they don't need to pay anybody to manage their AdWords. They could do that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need vendors. Okay, you can do this stuff yourself. But it always does come down to a question of time. Now, for dealers that want to give it a shot and try it out before knowing whether they want to commit either their own personnel or if they want to work with partners like Dealer Authority or Flex Dealer, then those are the ones that the way to get started is to get your ad out there. Okay, start playing around. It walks you through. Go to facebook.com/ad/manage. Wow, it's hard to say slash.
Yeah.
/manage ads/manage. Go there and click on create an ad. It'll, if your credit card information is in there, get all that stuff situated. Then it'll say create an ad. Okay, go ahead and build an ad and set it for preferably something like website clicks. We'll start with a very basic one. Set it for website clicks. Pick out a URL on your website. Let's say your search results page. Okay, just for your general new cars. It's an easy one. Just go to your inventory, copy and paste the URL from your search results page directly in inventory. It'll get all the information from you from that page, and then it'll give you an option for images. You want to plug in images and take advantage of the fact that you can put in 6 images because, again, this is all about testing. One image, you don't know if it's good or bad. So go ahead and put in all 6. Pick out 6 images. Preferably they'll be 1,200 by 628 wide. 1,200 wide by 628 tall. That's the ideal size to fit in to all of the different mediums, mobile, everything. It's not that they'll be 1,200 wide. They'll be shrunk down to fit the device. That gives you the best quality. Okay. Upload 6 of those. Mix it up. Pictures of cars. Live inventory always plays better than stock images. So if you can get a picture of that Tahoe sitting out front, go grab it, upload it, get it propped down to 1,200 by 628, and then upload that to the ad. Then you scroll down a little bit further, and it will ask you for your copy. Put in something local. Make sure that you're mentioning. This is local. Where are you guys? Where are you guys located?
Yeah,
I always forget.
I'm in Pennsylvania. Michael's
I'm in
Canada.
Okay.
So use your location, South Central LA.
Oh, there we go. So South Central LA's best Honda inventory, for example, be the title. That's actually too long, and they give you very few characters to utilize. But make it fit. Make sure that you mention either the location, definitely the brand, and a little bit of play. Then within the copy, the actual copy of the ad, mention who you are. You want to be transparent. Here's the thing. You don't want to coax people to click. All the clicks that you get, you only want people to click through to it if they're true, awesome, really interested buyers. Otherwise, you're just wasting money. Let's get the real buyers to click through, and let's tell them what they're clicking through to. If you want sending them to inventory, tell them you're sending them to inventory. Don't try to say, "Oh, look at all these awesome pictures of the new Stingray." Those are bad clicks. You want clicks where they know when they click through, when they hit the Shop Now button, which I'll get to in a second, they'll actually they're going to be shopping. You want to make it very clear. So in the ad copy, mention who you are. JD Rucker Chevrolet has a tremendous selection of new Chevy vehicles available right here in South Central LA. So that would be the ad. Scroll down a little bit further. It'll ask you if you want to use a button. Definitely use a button. This helps it to stand out. I like to use the Shop Now button if I'm sending them to inventory. You can send them to put that button as download or whatever. Learn more, all these things. I like Shop Now because it tells them, again, specifically, look, click on this if you're really interested in buying a car. If not, keep scrolling down on your Facebook page and looking for pictures of little Timmy sliding into third base or whatever you're looking for. So then you go down a little further and you get into the target. And this is the important part. Click on behavioral. Top one should be DLX automotive data. Click on that. It'll open it up. And then I don't want to tell you exactly what to do because you might find things in there that I don't even know about. The beauty of this stuff is that there's so much going on that you can play around with it, but it's very specific. It'll say, buyer intent, for example. So you click on that, and then you can break it down by makes or models or both. Click on Chevy, and then it'll actually, with Chevy, it'll say Chevy cars or Chevy trucks. If you're sending them to general inventory, click on both. Then click on models as well. And so click on Chevy Cruze, Equinox, Tahoe, Silverado. Get all those out there. And don't forget to set your geography depending on where you are. If you're in a more rural area, set it for your location plus 50 miles. If you're in a more crowded population, maybe your area alone, or maybe your area plus 10 miles, your city. You look to see how many people that's going to target. Is it going to target 1,000? Well, that's not enough. So go ahead and pick out more areas, maybe the next town over or whatever. maybe add some more behavioral targeting into it. Once you get through all of that, then you'll go down to the budget area, select your budget. It'll all get approved. One thing to note is that if you do use images that have words on them, that have text, you can't have more than 20% covered with text or they won't accept it. So make sure that the text is minimal if you use images with text. We prefer not to, with occasionally, if it's we'll put the logo on there sometimes we won't. And sometimes if there's a very specific special, like 6,000 off on Ultimate, we will put that text over the image just to draw more attention to the fact that we're selling, we're pushing a very specific item. Click review, and then it'll take you through, and you're good to go. You can have these ads running in, with enough practice. These ads take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, so they don't take a whole lot of time once you get good at it. That's why we like to run 30 at a time and keep it focused on hyper target. I have to squeeze as much value out of this as possible because most dealers don't believe in Facebook. Why? Because most dealers have been shown Facebook the wrong way. This is all about if you're going to spend $6 a click, $3 a click, $4 a click, we're guaranteeing less than $2 a click. In many cases, we're talking about 50 cents a click to your website from valid people that have raised their hand and indicated that they are intending to buy a used truck in the near future. You can't beat it, and that's why it's such a. I encourage every dealer to at least try it. At least go in there, listen to the words we're saying, and give it a shot. Throw $5 at it, $10 at it.
Yeah, what kind of daily budget do you really recommend? I mean, would you say for the newbie?
Depends on the objective, doesn't it?
Absolutely, but we try to keep it simple. $5 a day. It's $5 a day is approximately $150 a month. Except in February's and days with 31 days, or months with 31 days. So,
well, you know what? And considering that there's dealers out there that are still spending like $70,000 a year on print advertising, I think $150 a month is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Listen, JD, we appreciate you being with us today. There is no question that there are many more questions that we could be asking you about social media that I know those of you listening in are interested in, and I know. Robert wants to keep going.
Well,
I'm shutting him down.
I wanted to bring something up with JD, like something. Like he came. This is quick one. This is important. When we were at one of the past 20 groups, we were at the past 20 groups in Atlantic City, and I was shooting dice, hanging out. And I just look up for some reason, and I think it was JD and was Danny Benitez, and I just looked at him from a distance, and they were walking towards me very fast, and he had this face, such a serious face on, and he comes up to me and huffing and puffing like, "Oh, we've been looking everywhere for you, Robert," and I'm like, "What's going on?" And JD broke the news to me: the Ultimate Warrior died. JD Rucker was the first person. You were the one that relayed that information to me. I will never forget that.
Is this why I just had my outro hijacked?
Well, I wanted to bring that up. That was a very important time.
Always with the wrestling.
Something I'll always forget, always remember. And JD was the one. He heard it and he looked at it. He scattered the whole casino.
Hey, JD,
looking
did you
for
find
me.
that out on social media or what?
I actually did.
There you go. See, so there's no question how powerful social media is to kind of wind this back into my outro here before it was hijacked by the Ultimate Warrior.
Rest in peace.
There you go. There you go. Hashtag rest in peace. JD, thanks so much for being on the show. How can those dealers listening in right now, how can they get in touch with you to ask the questions that I know are burning inside of them right now?
Sure, they can. Easiest way, just email me, jd@dealerauthority.com. They can check out our website, Facebook, Twitter. We're pretty easy to find. Just do searches for Dealer Authority, do searches for JD Rucker, and we're right there. I publish my phone number online, so you can always call me directly as well.
And there you have it, everybody. We really appreciate you for taking the time and checking us out. Michael, JD never disappoints, huh?
No, I mean, there's so much information floating around inside of that guy's head. He is an undisputed expert when it comes to social media. That's a term that there's always debate on in the automotive industry, whether you can call somebody an expert. But guess what? I think in comparison to somebody that doesn't know anything about social media, there are experts, and it's all subjective. And he is one. I mean, I learned so much. I took 3 or 4 pages of notes about what dealers can be doing to start really taking a bite out of social media today. It was phenomenal. Great information.
Definitely. And it's a hot topic right now is Facebook ads. And it's one of the most affordable and powerful strategies that a dealership can handle. And again, the step-by-step guide that JD mentioned, that will be available in the show notes that are www.dealerplaybook.com/25.
Don't forget dealerplaybook.com.
Sorry about that. The Dealer Playbook. At first time I tried to do your little triple W thing, I bombed. But everything, all the links and resources that have to do with this session, you'll be able to find them there. And definitely get that guide because it walks you right through how you can get started using Facebook ads today in your store.
And I mean, you heard him. The bottom line is there's nothing really that they do or that many vendors do that you couldn't be doing yourself. So give it a try. Learn as much as you can about the social media. And if you decide that you need to have somebody do it for you because, you're leaving some holes in your digital marketing or your social media marketing, then that's okay too. It's all about driving more traffic to you, your brand, your business, your website, so that you can be as profitable as possible. So don't forget to check that out, www.thedealerplaybook.com/25. Also, don't forget to subscribe so that you can get the latest episodes of the Dealer Playbook dropped off in your inbox with all of the information and links that we give you throughout the show. Also, do me a favor right now and check out michaelacirillo.com/book. I've got a book coming out called Don't Wait, Dominate, which is going to also bring all of this information together so that you can really stop surviving online and start thriving online. Love to have you join me there. Robert, you got anything else for us today?
Nah, man, I'm ready to push on out of here. Everybody, thank you again, taking the time, hitting the download, subscribe. Leave us your feedback and comments. Everybody that is taking the time to give us their feedback and comments, good, the bad, the ugly, we want it all because we do this for you.
Thanks for being here.
Take care.